Okay, well, something that's happening is like, as I've been like practicing setting boundaries and not letting men be inappropriate physically with me, um, a lot of this was helped along by when I went into mental health inpatient because there was a guy like who had his hands all over me and I was uncomfortable. But if there hadn't been like all those people around me, it would have been hard for me to even like identify how uncomfortable I was because most of my sexual experiences have also um they've been like based around fear, and part of what I expected in a sexual experience was like for a man to cross my boundaries. Like I thought that's actually like part of how you do this and it will feel good to me at some point. um I just hadn't like, I mean, I would remember like all the moments I felt uncomfortable during the experience, but I would think it was my fault. Like basically any sexual experience I had. And I had like other habits in daily life of like for instance, like my high school boyfriend, I wanted to break up with him after in 2 months or something. But he told me he was suicidal and his counselor said, sounds like she's the best thing that ever happened to you. So to like not hurt him, I decided to continue being with him. And I guess most of my life I thought this was the right decision. But like so many other decisions, like I'm like, if I had not made that decision, how would my life be different? I guess it would have just meant I started setting boundaries in high school or starting to understand what that meant. But I mean, that's not what I did, and that's not what was modeled to me, even though it felt like the right thing to do for me to break up with him. I was convinced, like, as a woman, what you do is you put yourself aside for people. Like, that's what makes you a good human. So, it's taken me a while to unlearn. So, sometimes in this process, like, I wonder if I'm being, like, unkind or inappropriate or something with people or being too harsh. But I'm trying to remind myself that it's okay, like, if I'm being harsh sometimes, because I'm just learning. And like setting boundaries imperfectly is much better than not setting boundaries at all. So